All right, let's dive deep into this one. John Assaraf's Mastering Wealth Beliefs.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at how our minds can really help us or really hinder us when it comes to money,
Right.
and how we can actually rewire our thinking for abundance. And along the way, we're also going to be looking at some really interesting stuff from Alan Watts
Cool.
about aligning with the flow of life and how all of this stuff connects.
I love Alan Watts.
Yeah, me too.
So this is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
What I find so interesting about Assaraf's work is that he doesn't just give you sort of like surface level advice about money management.
Right.
He really goes deep
Yeah.
into the psychological roots
Okay.
of our financial reality.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts with this idea that our beliefs about wealth are a huge part of shaping our actual experiences.
So it's less about budgets and investments
Yeah.
and more about these beliefs that we may not even be aware of.
Right.
They're holding us back from those financial goals.
He calls these wealth beliefs.
Okay.
And they often come from things that we hear growing up, you know, like those common sayings, money is the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And those messages get ingrained in our subconscious
Yeah.
and create these invisible barriers. Yeah, he calls them limiting beliefs
Okay.
that block our path to success.
So how do we even begin to identify them if they're so hidden?
Assaraf provides a framework
Okay.
for recognizing these beliefs.
Yeah.
It's our money script.
Okay.
It's essentially the story we tell ourselves about money.
Interesting.
And it can be positive or negative.
Oh.
Obviously, the negative ones are the ones that hold us back.
Yeah.
You know, like if you grew up hearing that money doesn't grow on trees, you might constantly struggle, even if you have the skills and opportunities to earn more.
Wow. Yeah, I could see that. That's a good point, that we might not even realize how those messages
Right.
are still influencing our behavior today.
Exactly.
So what does he say that we can do about this?
Well, one of his key tools is visualization. He emphasizes the power of creating these very detailed mental movies where we see ourselves achieving those financial goals.
Right.
And it's not just daydreaming, it's about engaging all of your senses
Oh, wow.
and really feeling it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This reminds me a lot of what Alan Watts talks about.
Yes.
It's that aligning energy and actions with the belief that everything works out.
Absolutely.
And that can actually shift your reality.
It's about getting your mind and energy on board with what you want to create.
Totally.
Assaraf even suggests writing very specific statements. I am grateful for earning $10,000 a month.
Interesting.
And read those affirmations aloud and visualize the outcome.
Wow. Is this about tricking our brains into believing it?
Well, it's deeper than just positive thinking.
Okay.
Assaraf talks about how the left prefrontal cortex,
Okay.
which he calls our inner financial genius,
I like that.
can be rewired through visualization.
So we're actually changing our brains to be
Yeah.
more in line with our financial goals.
It's called neuroplasticity.
Interesting.
And we can strengthen those neural pathways
Oh, wow.
associated with abundance and success.
That's powerful.
It is.
I like it.
And it connects really beautifully with this concept of detachment that Alan Watts talks about.
Oh, yeah.
By letting go of the need to control the outcome
Okay.
and trusting that the universe is working in our favor,
Yeah.
we can create space for those new pathways to form.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this combination of focused intention
Yeah.
and then willingness to surrender to the process.
For they say.
Okay, I like that.
But Assaraf doesn't stop there. He also says that you need to take concrete action to support your new belief. And to ask yourself, what is one step I can take today
Right.
to move closer to my financial goals? And it could even be something small, like researching investment opportunities or reaching out to a potential mentor.
So it's not enough to just visualize.
Right.
You have to actually get out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And take some action.
He uses this great analogy of a gardener.
Okay.
You can plant the seeds
Yeah.
of your desires through visualization, but then you need to nurture those seeds with consistent effort and action to see them grow.
I love that analogy. So it's like creating this fertile ground in our minds.
Yeah.
And then we can take the steps to cultivate those seeds of financial abundance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's another crucial element that he highlights, and it's something that so many people struggle with. It's rewriting those negative self-talk patterns.
Oh, okay.
That can sabotage our efforts.
Yeah, let's dig into that. What does he mean by negative self-talk?
Okay.
And how does that play into our financial well-being?
All right, so negative self-talk is those automatic thoughts that pop into our heads, often without us even realizing it.
Right.
Things like, I'm not good with money, or I'll never be able to afford that.
Mm-hmm.
And these thoughts often reflect those deep-seated limiting beliefs we were talking about.
Right.
And they can be so powerful in shaping our financial reality.
So even if we're visualizing and taking action, if those negative thoughts are still there, it's not going to work.
It's like trying to drive a car.
Okay.
With one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake.
Right. Yeah, I got it.
You're not going to get very far.
Exactly.
So Assaraf provides a technique called catching your negative self-talk, which is basically about becoming aware of those thoughts as they arise. And then consciously choosing to replace them with more empowering ones.
So do you have like a specific example of how that might work?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's say you're browsing online. You see something you really want.
Okay.
But your immediate thought is, I can't afford that.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Assaraf would say, catch that thought. Challenge it. Ask yourself, is that really true? Or is that just an old story you're telling yourself?
Wow, yeah.
And then reframe that thought into a question. Like, how can I afford this? And that subtle shift from a statement of limitation to a question of possibility can activate your brain's problem-solving mode.
Wow.
And open up those new pathways for achieving your desires.
So it's not about denying our feelings or anything.
Oh, no.
But being more conscious of our internal dialogue.
Yeah.
Choosing those thoughts that empower us.
Exactly.
Rather than limit us.
You got it.
I like that.
And this ties back to the Alan Watts idea again of aligning with the flow of life. So instead of resisting our circumstances, we're trying to force things to happen. Right. We can learn to work with our thoughts and emotions in a way that allows us to move more gracefully towards our goals.
Very cool. So we've talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Identifying limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Visualizing our desired outcomes. Taking action.
Yes.
Rewiring those negative self-talk patterns. Is there anything else that Assaraf emphasizes?
You know, there's one more piece to the puzzle that I think is particularly powerful.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's the connection between self-worth and income.
This is interesting. Tell me more.
So Assaraf observes that our income often reflects our deep-seated beliefs about our own value and worthiness. And if we don't believe we are worthy of abundance, we'll often sabotage our efforts to earn more, even if we're not consciously aware of it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I can see how low self-esteem could manifest as settling for lower paying jobs.
Right.
Or undervaluing our skills.
Exactly.
And our services.
It shows up in a lot of subtle ways, like being afraid to ask for a raise.
Oh, yeah.
Or not charging what you're worth for your products or services.
Right.
And Assaraf really challenges us to push past those comfort zones. And start aligning our financial expectations with our true value.
I mean, that's got to be challenging.
It is.
It is for a lot of people.
Especially for those of us who have been conditioned to believe that we're not good enough.
Right.
Or we don't deserve success.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's often a process of uncovering those deep-seated beliefs. And then consciously choosing to replace them with more empowering ones.
So how do we actually do that?
Well, one way Assaraf suggests is through affirmations. So instead of repeating phrases like, I'm not good enough, we can start affirming, I am worthy of abundance. I am capable of achieving my financial goals.
Interesting.
It might feel uncomfortable at first, but with consistent practice, these affirmations can start to shift our underlying beliefs and open up new possibilities.
And how does this tie into the Alan Watts idea of detachment from outcomes?
Well, it's about releasing the fear and anxiety that often come with pursuing financial success.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When we're attached to a specific outcome, like getting a particular job or making a certain amount of money, we can become really rigid and closed off to other opportunities that might even be better suited to our path.
So if we can cultivate trust in the process and detach from the need to control everything, then we can open up to unexpected blessings.
Absolutely.
And synchronicities.
It's about having faith in the universe, believing that we're being guided toward our highest good, even when things don't go exactly as planned.
I like that.
It's about surrendering to the mystery. And trusting that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if we can't see the whole picture yet.
I mean, this idea of surrender
Yeah.
can be really challenging for a lot of people.
It is.
When it comes to something like money,
Yeah.
we often feel like we need to be in control.
I know.
Like we need to make things happen
Right.
through sheer willpower.
And that's where the reticular activating system comes in.
Oh, yes. Assaraf talks about that in the book. Can you remind us how the RAS works?
Yeah.
And how it relates to finances?
So the RAS is essentially this filter in our brain
Okay.
that helps us focus on what's important.
Okay.
And it sorts through all this information that's
Right.
coming at us constantly
Yeah, there's a lot.
and highlights the things that align with our current beliefs and expectations.
So if we're focused on lack and scarcity, our RAS is going to filter out all the evidence of abundance
Exactly.
that's around.
But the good news is we can reprogram our RAS to focus on what we want to see more of. This is where visualization and affirmations come in again.
Okay.
By consistently feeding our minds those positive images and statements about wealth and abundance,
Right.
we can train our RAS
You're
to
trying to.
highlight opportunities
Yeah.
that we might have otherwise missed.
So we're kind of shifting our perception of reality
Yeah,
by consciously choosing what we focus on.
exactly.
And then as we start to see more abundance,
Yes.
our beliefs about wealth start to shift too.
It's a powerful cycle.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of something that Alan Watts said
Okay.
about the universe being like this giant symphony.
Oh, wow.
And we're each playing our own unique instrument.
I like that.
When we're in tune with the music,
Yeah.
everything flows effortlessly. But when we're out of tune,
Right.
it creates dissonance and discord.
That's beautiful.
Yes, it's about finding our rhythm and playing our part in this grand symphony of life, trusting that everything is working together harmoniously, even when it doesn't seem like it.
I love that.
When we align ourselves with that universal flow,
Yes.
we open ourselves up to unlimited possibilities
Wow.
for abundance and fulfillment,
That's awesome.
financially and in all other areas of our lives.
Before we wrap up,
Okay.
I want to ask you about something that Assaraf mentions
Yeah?
in the book
Okay.
about the importance of celebrating small wins. He says that we shouldn't wait for some big achievement
Right.
to celebrate our progress,
Yeah.
but that we should acknowledge and appreciate every step
Yes.
towards those financial goals,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how small.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It goes back to rewiring our brains for success.
Okay.
Every time we celebrate a win, we release dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter
Right.
that's associated with pleasure and motivation. And this creates a positive feedback loop.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it reinforces those neural pathways
Yes,
associated with achievement.
exactly.
So even if it's something small, like setting up a budget or contributing an extra $10 to our savings,
it all counts.
we should celebrate that.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's great.
Those seemingly small actions are really building blocks.
Okay.
They're bigger successes.
Yeah.
And by acknowledging and celebrating those wins, we're training our minds to see ourselves as capable and successful.
Right.
And that just further strengthens our belief
Yeah.
in our ability to reach those goals.
So it's about shifting our focus from what we haven't done yet
Yeah.
to what we are doing well.
Exactly.
So-
It's about cultivating gratitude and appreciation for our progress
Yeah.
rather than always looking ahead
Right.
to that future point of arrival. And I think this shift in perspective can be so empowering.
I
You
agree
can make
with
that journey toward financial abundance much more enjoyable.
for sure.
Yeah,
This has been such an awesome deep dive
it has.
into mastering wealth beliefs.
I've really enjoyed it.
Me too.
So insightful.
As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question inspired by both Assaraf and Watts.
Right.
What if, instead of viewing money as something scarce
Yeah,
and difficult to get,
right.
we embrace it as a tool for growth, creativity, and positive impact in the world?
That is a great question. And it really gets to the heart of what Assaraf is talking about.
Mhm.
It's about shifting from a scarcity mindset
Okay.
where we're constantly worried about not having enough to an abundance mindset
Yeah.
where we believe there's more than enough for everyone.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that shift in mindset can open up so many possibilities.
Absolutely.
Not just for ourselves, but for the greater good as well.
It can fuel our passions,
Yeah.
help us make a difference,
Right.
create a ripple effect of abundance.
As you reflect on all of this,
Yeah.
I want you to think about
Okay.
how you might shift your own beliefs about money
Mm-hmm.
and tap into that limitless potential
Yes.
that exists within you.
It all starts with awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts,
Yeah.
your beliefs about money. Challenge the ones that are holding you back and replace them with empowering ones.
Good advice.
Visualize your ideal financial future with clarity and conviction. Take consistent action, even one small step each day towards that future, and celebrate those wins.
Yes.
Every step is a victory.
Absolutely.
But trust the process.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself. Enjoy the journey to financial freedom.
Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
On this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Into mastering wealth beliefs.
It was great.
We hope you found it insightful and empowering. Remember, you have the power to create the financial future.
You do.
That you desire.
Absolutely.
Now go out and make it happen.